Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Blue Collar Off-Road Podcast. Today it is Richie, Cody, Luke, no Graham because he's got an adult life or something, and we're joined by Nick, aka Quarter Short, who I think we're going to talk about the Great American Walt today.
So I've heard, yeah.
What is the Great American Walt?
So it's a wheeling trip, kind of like the meet and beat, or what you guys do with the Web Wheelers ball. We started out. I think the first official one was last year, and we started with the Waltz Crawlers thing. If you guys, I think we talked about that last year with Curtis after we went wheeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's an Instagram page, just a bunch of off-road memes and a bunch of guys who like to go wheeling and beat on their rigs and actually go wheeling instead of taking pictures and stuff. So I might be making some shots today at people.
It is weird though that you're saying you have an Instagram page about talking shit about people just taking pictures of their rigs. That seems a little counterintuitive when Instagram is all about taking pictures and posting them. So I don't know.
Yeah,
that's a little funny.
If you've been on the page, you'd see that none of them are serious posts that we make. They're all so.
I do quick thing about the Waltz because it was probably 2-3 months ago that we had a fun little thing going back and forth, like poking fun at each other.
We did. Yeah.
Who on your end was the one making the memes? Because on our end, it was like me throwing them at the guys, being like, "Hey, how do we feel about this?" Or how like.
There was like 3 of us that were making them, and just because there's like 6 people logged into the Instagram, so we were just making them and firing them off.
So now, who was the first one directed at? I need to know what podcast group was it directed at? Was it? I mean, if you don't feel comfortable, obviously you don't have to talk about it. I was just curious because I was like, "Shots fired! We gotta retaliate! We gotta like joking around, obviously."
So, who did the first one?
I don't know.
Because I don't know if we just put one up or not. We put one up. I gotta go. I'm hopping on the Instagram real quick. So we put one up. The first one we put up was off-road podcasts are now illegal.
Yep.
And I don't remember who we were shooting that one at. Probably the Total Off-Road podcast.
Mm-hmm. Because you're friends with one of the guys, right? On the main guy, right?
Yeah, we know a couple of them, but I think we've also, well, not us particularly, but Prater used to be, I guess, from what I understand, he used to be a Total Off-Road podcast guy, Brad.
Really?
And that's from what I've been told. I haven't personally asked him, but one of the other Waltz was talking to him, I guess, or something. He was like originally was like one on the Total Off-Road podcast, like Facebook group or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he got dragged away by Trail Trash is what happened.
Oh, no shit. I didn't know that.
So but we like to prod. If you look on our page, a lot of our posts are kind of prodded towards Total Off-Road podcast because we've had like a somewhat serious, somewhat joking beef going with them for a while.
Okay.
And that's part of where the Waltz thing came from, because we were like, dude, there's a Facebook page with all those guys, and like half of them didn't go wheeling, and they'll just talk about stuff on the page. And we were like, dude, we want a page. We were joking about making a total on-road podcast. And then just talking about like random crap. But we never got around to it. So we just made the Facebook or the Instagram page instead. But I think that's where the first shot was at. We've had a couple others in the past actually, but for the meme war we had going on, it was at them, and then I think you guys came back at us.
Yes.
Which was great.
Yeah, I think I put it like I went to like I don't know whatever it was online. It was like meme generator.
Yeah, like the meme generator, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like Trump, and I was like, no more Instagram like meme or whatever meme pages.
Meme pages. We threw one at Trail Trash right after that. Off-road garbage groups are now illegal.
So funny. That was such a fun time. That's
That
great.
was good. We need more of those. We haven't posted
Absolutely.
anything in a
Something like
while.
that happen.
But yeah. So the Great American Walt is just like it was a get together for a bunch of the guys that were in our Walt group that we threw together on like Messenger. It's just a bunch of guys from all over that we wanted to go wheeling. We just determined that S'more was like the most middle place out of everybody. So last year we had, I mean, I'm from Illinois. Curtis came down. Well, a couple of guys came down from Michigan. I went down from Illinois. We had one of our buddies. He drove up from Texas. Um, and so we had a good group. We had a good group last year, but then we put back out about it this year on Facebook, and it was kind of like an underground thing because the whole idea behind the Great American Walt was prodding at the Great American Crawl,
Mhm.
which I'm sure everybody's familiar with.
I'm
Uh,
not too sure. I've never really
I,
heard of it.
it's like a YouTube event that Rockstar Garage hosts,
Oh, gotcha.
and they like
Yep.
go all over. They go all over the place, and like you can pay. I think you can. I've never been to one, but I think you can pay to like go wheel with them. But like all of the main people that do it and are on the videos, like they wheel together and then they like take all of their videos and then they don't really talk to anybody else. So like you're just at the park with whoever you went with,
Hmm.
you know. So like they make it look like it's this whole big thing for everybody to enjoy, and like I'm sure it's still fun to go wheeling, but it's like all of like the main people that you're like trying to go see, the influencers, like don't even. I think they don't really even hang out with the other people that show up.
That's kind of scummy. That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's what it seems like a lot of these like big like off-road influencers are kind of leading to because there's a couple other like uh wheeling events that are popping off now. I don't remember what they're all called, but those all like similar things where it's like, yeah, you can buy tickets for our event and like they're really expensive for no reason. And then you go and like you get to talk to whoever the influencer is for like 5 minutes on the trail, and then you just like are doing your own thing.
That's so odd.
So we were like, well, we need to come up with a name for this because we'll just do the Great American Walt. Put throw a Walt in because we're all about just like getting out on the trail and having fun and wheeling, you know.
Hmm.
So we've been doing it at S'more. We did it last year was like the first official one we did. We're doing it again this year, Memorial Day weekend, and we ended up messaging um, Trail Trash to see. We tried to get them to come out, but the meet
They
and
don't
beat.
leave. They don't leave the South. You know, they
No,
don't
that's the
do that.
thing. Well, Missouri's kind of south, but
Yeah,
they
it's
were
like
like
8 hours from me. Be
they were
about
like,
10
yeah,
from them.
our meet and beat was like 2 weeks before that.
Oh.
We didn't realize, so it's like in the middle of May, and the Great American Waltz at the end of May. There's like 2 weeks in the middle, and that's usually a pretty hard thing to swing two big trips like 2 weeks apart.
Hmm.
So
Comment.
I think we're gonna try and either set something up with them or set something up with some of these like Facebook groups that we're kind of prodding fun at next year.
But didn't that trip to S'more originally start from not Club XJ? What was that fucking web page? The XJ forum or whatever. Wasn't that originally that event?
Which one?
The one at S'more wasn't because I could have swore that that's why Colin, like when Colin met you, was at S'more for
Yeah.
a not
No,
an extra event.
that was a different park if I remember right. That was like Badlands, I think.
It was probably Badlands. I haven't met Colin in person yet, actually. Curtis met Colin at the Badlands though.
Maybe that's what it was then.
I do know because Colin he used to live out here. I think he used to live in Michigan or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, but no, the first thing, well, the S'more being at the location for us started 2 years ago. Curtis and I went down there just to wheel, and they were like, "This park's actually really cool. Like, there's really good trails here. The park's laid out really nice, everything's like really nice. Campground set up nice, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like we need to go back here, and we started inviting our other buddies, and then that was like shortly the end of the year after we had gone whaling there the first time was when the Walt page became a thing. So then we just started tying everything into that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So how is Curtis like mini Walt? But technically, you're saying that Curtis was an original Walt.
He was he was not. He was
No, you
not.
just
So
said, oh, I'm confused.
no, he and I went wheeling there before the Waltz were a thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Waltz thing kicked off when we were up in Michigan, actually, not with Curtis. There was a group of us who went up to go wheeling up there.
What was it, Kevin or
It
Kyle
was
that had
Kyle Radin that had
Yeah,
he was working on the Turbo Cherokee, but he never finished it.
and then he sold it like a
He
bitch.
did. He did. He sold it to another guy up there named Jake, though, who has taken it wheeling several times already, actually.
That's sick.
Um, and as far as I know, he plans to link the rear. He's supposed to be coming down to the Great American Walt, which is why I was hoping Graham was going to be on here so I can bully him into going.
He's going.
Shut up, Cody. I was
Well,
just about to get to that.
Oh,
God damn it.
I thought that was
Look.
common knowledge. My bad.
no, well, he said he was. A lot of people have said they're going to go, but then when it comes down to the wire,
Oh no.
you know,
So the
Luke-
current plan is that we are both trying to make both events. So Graham is going to be staying at my place for about a month. And we're going to go to Trail Trash Bash, take the 2 weeks in between to fix everything from Trail Trash Bash, and then we're going to the Great American Walt.
ooh, that's cool. Okay,
Yeah.
because I knew you were on the fence about it, and I knew Graham was like,
I guess we
yeah,
can talk
I should be
about
able to go.
I guess we can talk about why I was on the fence. For a little while, due to like I'm not having the best of luck right now finding a new job. I have my current job. It just kind of sucks.
Yep,
Um,
everybody's been there, I think.
and so I've just been plodding along. And it was looking like I was going to move back to New England, but then my girlfriend got a new job down here and or a second job down here that pays a lot better than her first, but her first has awesome benefits. So it doesn't make sense for us to go leave that just because I'm having a hard time finding something. So like I'm looking at a bunch of different fields than I had originally looked at. So like railroads, nuclear power, stuff like that, or going back to college at this point, honestly. So yeah,
Gotcha.
that's why I was on the fence. I was supposed to move the week of the Great American Wall.
Okay, but
Yeah, it
since
makes
you're
it
sticking
kinda...
around now,
Yep.
well, cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm excited
It
for that because I was planning on me and my buddy John, at least, we were planning on coming out for the Web Wheelers Ball this year. Since
Yep.
I've been saying that I'm gonna go and I haven't yet.
So at the moment, the big three trips are Trail Trash Bash. I'm hoping to make. If it looks like it's not going to be possible, I will be unfortunately skipping Trail Trash Bash. Because I can go to AOP with Trail Trash whenever Trail Trash
Whenever,
goes to AOP.
which
Um,
seems to be pretty frequently.
Yeah,
yeah,
they have a lot of posts about it.
yeah, it's the closest good park. Windrock is good, but it's not as much of an amusement park, and it fits in really well with them.
I could imagine for events too, it's probably not the greatest thing because at least right now they can do like a two trail loop, come back, and then like re up on people who want to go out. Where
Yeah.
you go to like Windrock and it's like we have 16 rigs. This one trail is gonna take us 10 years to get through, kind of a thing.
Do they
Yeah.
organize with the like owners of the park for the meet and
Yeah.
beat?
Yes.
It's
Oh,
it's
okay,
big enough that they do organize it with the owners of the park. It's really cool the way that they do it,
that's
but
cool. Yeah, we haven't gotten that far with the Great American Walt yet. It's still kind of like it's like our underground event, you know.
Yeah, we're in
Yeah.
a weird spot with web
Yeah.
wheelers.
I was, Luke, that is exactly the words I was just about to say, bro. That was perfect.
I'll put it like this. We managed to fill up the entire campground at Roush. Not counting the Long Island boys or the hotel boys. So like it started to hit a point where it's getting kind of large. But at the same time, it's also still like you've got your distinctive groups that are wheeling there. So like at Trail Trash Bash, you'll have like him and Brappen will go out together. And then you'll have like the Moody's with them, and then Trail Trash goes out with Trail Trash and meets up with whoever they meet up with, and they fill AOP. Like last year, I think it
Yeah.
was over. What was it, Cody? Almost
It was like 80 rigs or something like that. It was something.
Yeah,
No,
it was
80
like
people, like 50 rigs or something. It was a lot.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and we had 38
Yeah,
at
38 people and
Roush.
about like
No,
24 rigs.
38 rigs.
Oh, 38 rigs? Oh shit. Damn.
That's big still. We had with the Walt stuff last year. We only had like I think we had like 7 rigs because it was close friends. This year we got I think there's like 14 or 15 that are gonna go now.
Mhm.
Which so we're still like trying to keep it like underground, kind of like invite only sort of deal for
Mhm.
now. Maybe not 14, but probably at least 12 this year, I think. So we got
Yeah.
more guys going this year, but we were trying to keep it like underground, invite only for now. But we want to try and like organize a bigger, like an actual event with anybody really. We were talking about trying to do like the like an internet wars wheeling trip between like the Waltz and then any of the podcasts, like Total Off Road podcasts, or you guys want like Trail Trash.
AOP would be like a prime spot for that. Or
No,
good
it's too
evening.
far. Go to Good Evening, so at least it's 8 hours closer.
Well, because they're down at S'more. They do a like a clash of the clubs because there's like a bunch of Jeep clubs down there,
Uh-huh.
and they have like a couple of people from each club compete, and they do like timed races up certain trails, which is a
Sounds
kind of a
cool.
cool concept.
Yeah.
Be cool.
Have everybody show up to like just wheel, and then you're like, all right, after lunchtime, we're gonna do, or race these trails or whatever, and fastest times overall wins or something like that. But we still have to talk to a bunch of people because that ended up being probably like at least next year or the year after, I'm assuming. But
So that is something that has been considered by me to start doing at the Web Wheelers Ball. The only thing that I run into an issue with is it has to be like a Sunday thing. Because unlike the drag racing that Trail Trash did, I'm kind of concerned about like how many rigs would be left if people actually take it seriously.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah, that's true. That's
when
true.
Richie and myself went down with SIS, God, I can't believe I'm about to say this. What was that? Almost 10 years ago now? 8 years ago now?
2014. So 9 years ago.
Yeah.
I wasn't even wheeling back then, dude.
Dude, that trip was a trip and a half, dude. But they did the last event was that on Sunday they would go down to a trail called Crawdaddy, which used to be
Heard of it.
kind of worse than it is now. Like, um, and they would do a 2-section race. You add the times together, smallest time wins.
It was three.
Was it 3?
It was 3.
Okay. But basically you add your times together for each of the major obstacles on there, and the smallest one wins. And it was awesome to watch because people would put on a fucking show for that.
I believe that.
Um,
I'm sure
but
that would be what it would turn into if like we had all like these internet groups doing a war, a wheeling
yeah,
war.
the
Listen,
only
you got
problem
Got to get content for the Instagram somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only other problem with it is that, like, after that, the event was over. That was the end of.
Yeah, that's
You
got to be
know.
like the grand finale.
Yeah, because like, I think the year we went, someone broke a 14-bolt shaft, which back then was like a big deal on 37s.
Yeah.
What else was there? There was
A few people almost got ran over.
yeah,
Oh,
that
really?
happened.
Christ.
Yeah, well, the
That's
kid
never a good look.
No.
No.
It was a bad place to stand from the start, and then a little bit too much throttle.
See, that's the problem when like nobody's paying attention to other people. Like if I was ever on a trail and I was seeing like how somebody was coming up an obstacle and like a girl and or anybody else, because most of the time it's a girl like not paying attention. Let's be honest. Sometimes it's dudes, but it is what it is. And I'd just be like, hey, you might want to not stand there unless you like to die. Like simple as that. But then again,
Yeah.
I could say that, and it could be like the was it the Great American Jeep Rally over in no, what's the big one that happens at Moab?
Oh,
Remember that?
Easter Jeep Safari.
Yeah, Easter Jeep Safari, where like when I heard
Yeah,
someone got ran over,
somebody got smacked. But I heard that was
it was the rig's fault.
yeah, it was like one of the newer Wranglers with the electronic throttle bodies or something.
No, well,
Or was that a
I don't
different
know.
one? I think
I don't
more than
know.
one person got hit that weekend.
The one that I'm speaking on, when I first heard about it, I was like, damn, she must have been standing in the wrong spot. Like, that sucks. But, like, no. Like, after looking into it, the guy, like, whiskey throttled his rig into the, into, like, whatever. Like, they were going up the obstacle, should have let off, and they just kept fucking going.
Oh,
And,
really?
So
yeah.
what
Like,
I was talking about, Cody, that's kind of what happened. Like, if you were just crawling that spot, it would have been fine. But he just did not let off.
Jesus.
Yeah, can't do that.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's like on the driver too, though. Like you got to be paying attention. Like I mean, everybody's got to be
Yeah.
paying attention, but like you should have let out once you knew you were over. Usually,
Over the person or over the obstacle?
obstacle before you end up over the person.
Yeah. So part of what happened with the incident that me and Richie were referring to is dudes were standing on top of a rock, which was off to the sideline, and you can take this line to go up the trail, but everyone else was going up the main course, and the dude was ripping up there and decided to take the sideline and just overshot it. So like it was a bad combination, but I think that if we were to do something like that, we would probably have to, just because, like, say you get someone in there, like, and I'm not taking shots, but DD from Trail Trash, that dude likes to
Yeah.
get on that fucking rig.
Oh
and
yeah.
You got to
Oh,
make
yeah.
sure that people realize what is going on, because there's competition going on. So the people that want to get on shit are going to get on shit, and the other people that are watching need to stay the fuck out of the
Yeah,
way.
like something like that. You got to like the people who are watching, like you keep them back at like the start, whatever the start line is.
Yeah, like
Or
that's
like
like
way up
yeah.
the side
Either
of the
either
trail.
yeah, way off to the side. So like you get like a couple of the guys that are organizing said event, whoever it ends up being, and
Hey, you can
have
call me
them
Graham
like,
now.
Ew, it's
oh
Graham.
yeah,
Hi.
What are
Graham.
you
Yeah.
doing here? You're not supposed to be
I
here.
finished moving my shit.
This was
I
a
bought beer.
Graham-free episode. Get out of here.
Not
All
anymore.
right, fine. See it.
We were just talking about you actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we were talking about
It
how
was
All
really
all
nice.
bad things, I'm sure.
Absolutely. It was like 5 minutes ago, but we were talking about the Great American Walt
Yes.
and how you're
Yeah.
gonna be there.
Yes, that is the plan.
Sweet.
Yep. We're going to try and make Trail Trash Bash as well. So that's going to be sick. Yeah. I don't know.
It's gonna be a chaotic month, but I want to do both of them.
Whoa.
I'm going to try and make both
Yeah.
of them, but at the very least, I'm making some more. Just because, like, I've never been there, and AOP's an hour and a half away.
Yeah,
Or an
for
hour
you,
and
definitely.
15.
S'more's a good park. We got a good group of guys that are supposed to be there this year. There's people from all over this year. Granted,
I'm just warning you. I'm bringing the moonshine. So
You say that every time. We've never drank that much of the moonshine.
Wait, did you not look at the COVID-19 thing on there? Well, Luke's not on there. I know Graham is.
I
On
saw it.
Yeah.
are you talking about Facebook or?
Yeah, I thought I sent you an invite on there. Maybe not.
I don't know, man. My Facebook randomly became unbanned after I had a lifetime ban for calling people pine cones.
Yeah, but then I saw a lot of people using pine cone as an insult, and they were still there. They weren't banned. So, I don't know. Maybe they changed their tune.
I caught a lifetime
so.
ban for it. So, like, I was gone for, what was it, a year and a half, 2 years? I
I
don't know.
mean, that's a lifetime in social
Sounds
media.
like a manual ban, bro. Like some
Yeah.
Facebook dev was like, I don't like this guy.
Dude, we got our the Walt Instagram page. We got a post taken down on Christmas because we put up and we said like Merry Waltmas, everybody. Hope you left Bush Light and cigs out for St. Walt, and they took it down because they said that we were trying to sell cigarettes on there or something like that. And I was like, dude, are you kidding me?
That's crazy. Like we've had things like where like I've gone to try to boost them, but like somebody swears in it, and it's like this is not a suitable advertisement, and like we've had that, but we've never had something take it down like that. That's crazy.
We didn't even get to because usually they'll let you like claim on it or whatever, and be like, oh well, you're making a mistake.
Yeah.
They didn't even let us do that. They just took it down.
That's
Jesus.
fucked up.
Just straight took down. I was like, all right, that's whatever. We've had a couple of our comments get flagged too for like dumb stuff.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Or it'll be like right before you post it, it's like we have recognized that this could be potentially upsetting. Please double check before you post it. I'm like, nah, fuck that shit.
No, we're
Like,
posting it.
like if it upsets them, they can get fucked. Send.
Facebook's been bad. I got flagged on there last year because we go out to the Naxtra Midwest chapter Winterfest at the Badlands. That's in March, like every year.
Mhm.
And one of the guys we wheel with, he gets there like the event starts. It's like a Friday Saturday event. He gets there like Wednesday and just gets hammered. And there was one like a year or two ago. He ended up fighting one of the campground workers.
What?
And almost got kicked out. But then they came to made up and it was fine. But so we joke about that all the time. And my buddy Rob, who's Two-Door Rob on Instagram, we were talking on Facebook on one of the posts because everybody was like, "Oh, we're heading out in a couple hours, blah blah blah." And somebody brought that up, and I said, "Rob, I'll come over and fight you in your driveway before you leave." Because he lived like 30 minutes from me at the time before we moved to Colorado. And I got flagged on Facebook for saying that I was going to come fight him in his driveway.
Hey man, sometimes you just gotta get the fight out beforehand, so that way you don't get in trouble at the event. I get it. That makes sense.
Facebook threw me a warning for that one though. Took that comment down real quick.
That is stupid.
It's like getting out of hand now though.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, is it ridiculous or are we the problem? Let's be honest here, guys. Like, or is the world just soft? Like,
I think it's soft, personally.
I agree. I just,
And I think, right, especially when they get you once or they look at the account, I feel like you get put on a list somewhere and then it's like,
absolutely.
watch that account, and then you just get hammered way more.
Luke is on a list. We know that. It's just I don't think it's for Facebook. I think
Luke
it's
is on more than one list.
I believe it. And one of them is the autism spectrum. I don't know if that's a list, but he's on it.
Curtis is on that too, so
He
said it himself. All right,
Oh, you have Curtis's tube, right, for his cage to fix it?
His tube?
No, he came and picked that up already. I did have it. I did have it though.
I was about to throw some shit at him because I was, he. Last time I talked to him about it, he said it was at your shop, and
yes,
like, why is it there? You can't fix a cage there.
He came and got it a while ago.
Gotcha.
We had dude. we had really good tubing price here, and he did not in Michigan.
Damn.
So he got
Yeah,
it through me and who I get it through Aries Fabrication.
Gotcha.
But,
that makes sense.
But yeah,
That's
so we
like-
had a way better deal on tubing than he did. So he was like, "Yeah, I'll get it through you." And then his buddy Charlie Gears, who I don't think he's been wheeling for a while, but he used to wheel a lot.
Yeah,
He
it's
does
a name I've heard
a
quite
lot of
bit about.
fabrication up there in Michigan.
Yeah, he's the one who did his cage, right?
I believe so, yes. But they both came down because they split on. They ordered like 300 feet of it to get the bulk pricing,
Mm-hmm.
and they came down and got it a couple of months ago now, actually. So he's had it now. So he has no excuse since he has it.
Last time we talked to him, I think he said he wasn't going to do it till like last minute. Little bitch.
Yeah, well,
He's
that's
such a
Curtis.
He said the other day that he asked in this Walt chat that we're in, and he was asking us. He was like, "I don't think I want to do a buggy anymore. I think I might just like cut the back of the Jeep off and tube it out because it's going to be easier than like starting from scratch."
He's such
Why
a
did that-
weirdo.
And I was like, "We told you to do that from the beginning because then your rig would be back up and running faster."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, and not to mention, it's not like he's replacing the fucking windows in the thing, anyways. So
Yeah,
it's like it's stopping it from like getting
And
water.
there's
in it.
nothing back there already. It's just
yeah. I was like, cut it off
crushed
behind
wood
the
on
B
it.
pillar where it's
Yeah.
all messed up, and then just tube that out and do like a Cherokee buggy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
could
then after it starts to fuck up the front end, cut the nose off.
Yeah,
It's
but he
already cut
already
off.
did that. Yeah,
yeah.
It's
No,
already
I mean,
gone.
cut the unibody because he's
Yeah.
still got unibody rails.
See,
Yeah, he does. I don't think that's the. I mean, the front seems okay.
Yeah, he plated that pretty well. I think he did all
Yeah.
that work really early
Do
on.
anything well? That Jeep is a piece of shit.
It's
Let
better
me
than
Yeah,
yours.
enjoy things.
You should ask him about the glob of weld that's hanging down on his frame rail that touches his control arm. He'll get mad. He'll get mad. You should ask him about it.
No, was that just because it wouldn't stick, or was that something somebody's doing?
No,
to
I
piss
think
him off?
he was trying to weld together like
Oh.
a crack in his unibody or something like that, and it just globbed up and dripped down. So there's just this big pointy spot, and it touches one of his control arms at full bump, and he'd been adjusting it, so it left a ring all the way around the arm.
oh my
Which he's
god,
spinning.
he's a mess. Jeez, Louise.
Yeah.
Did we already cover everything on your rigs? I'm
No,
coming
no,
here in the
we're not
second
even
half.
Gotten there.
Oh,
We
geez,
haven't
okay.
we haven't gotten to the rig part. We were talking about the Great American Walt and how we were like prodding fun at like Total Off Road Podcast and at you guys and stuff. And that we want to set up like a great internet wheelers war and have like a competition between like all the podcasts and the Waltz.
I mean,
That'd
beat the
be
shit out of
funny
each
as
other with
hell.
wiffle ball bats, right?
Yeah.
What did we do that whole thing where we were trading memes back and forth? That was
We need to
pretty
do
fun.
we talked about that. We need to do that again. That was good.
Hey,
That was a lot of fun.
you know, the Good Evening Ranch Web Wheelers Ball would be a perfect spot to have the podcast duke it out if you can start nudging other people towards that.
I could probably make some. I'll try and make some things happen. There's definitely going to be a couple of Waltz down there.
Yeah, after the
Um,
show, by the way, I gotta just chit chat with you about what I'm doing because I know you had some stuff you wanted to talk about. So we'll get on that later.
Yeah,
Special
probably,
stuff.
probably
course.
similar to the list that you're already on. Something to do with that.
Oh, I made that list worse today too.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
Oh yeah. I bought another suppressor.
Oh, not that list, but I mean, yeah. You bought another one for
Yeah.
what? Your illegal SBR? Oh shit! Can't talk about it. The fucking
Dude,
the internet knows now.
Technically,
Illinois just cracked down, dude. We're not doing good over here.
I
No.
heard.
Yeah.
So I also talked with the guy at the gun store about how to alleviate that problem because they fucking changed the rules. So now if you have a braced pistol, it's considered an SBR. And he's like,
Yeah, I
yeah.
saw that.
Yeah,
So what about
because
people who are handicapped? What do they do then?
Shit
Get
out of luck, I
fucked.
guess.
You gotta just deal with it, just stiff arm that
Yeah.
motherfucker and hope for the
Yeah.
best.
Yep.
Apparently.
Jesus.
So he was like, yeah, because you have a trust for you, like I have a trust for my suppressors and stuff, and there are people that are listed and everything. He's like, just register that thing on your trust, pay the $200, don't take their free stamp, otherwise
Yeah, I
you
heard
won't
that
be
was
able
like
to,
the
yeah.
catch.
Um, Otherwise it won't be on your trust, and you'll be the only person that's able to have it until if you die, it gets destroyed. So I'm just fucking doing that, so it's not illegal, but it's still fake and gay.
Why can't they just put like stuff the suppressor in your pocket? Like just bury you with it.
I don't know, man. I'm just kind of like trying not to get caught up in some kind of weird fucking laws. So it cost me like I think it was $60 to set up a trust, and it can go to anyone that's listed on the trust if I die. So yeah, it's great. Or those people can be in possession of it if I'm not around. So
That's kind of
like,
cool.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
not this nice.
So if I go on like a long-term business trip, say for example, I have to go and contract out in Pennsylvania for something, I can just leave the NFA items with the people that are listed on my trust, at like my girlfriend or a friend of mine that lives down here.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, so I'm actively trying to stay off the domestic terrorist watch list.
Well, now you said it. Now you're on it again.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
said the words.
It's like Fight Club, like you can't talk about it.
Yep. Yep. The secret society. They
Yeah.
can't know. So let's dive into the old paddy wagon. What you got going on with the buggy? How's it been?
Um, well, I finally got working on it again. I didn't touch it for several months last year because I mentioned this before the podcast. I got sick like 4th of July, and that took me out for a while. But I finally got back on it. I'm getting it ready for the next Winterfest this year. It's close. I'm actually waiting on all of my hydraulic lines to show up today for the front and rear steering
Oh
systems.
shit.
I finally got the thing running. I got the Cherokee harness stripped down. There's a couple more things I need to strip out of it, but that took way too long staring at wiring diagrams, seeing what I needed to cut out. But got it all cut out. I hooked the stuff up a couple weeks ago. Thing fired first try, which was like the greatest relief ever. Um, the axles are done now. I just need to put gear lube in both of them.
Do that sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've been like, I think it was on Sean's stream. I was like, shoot, well, I didn't take that oil out of the rear. We didn't do anything other than we welded the truss on. I guess that I probably would have drained it, but I was like, I don't think I drained it out of it. I don't think I needed to, and I'm glad I checked because it was not full. Right.
Yeah.
And then I've given axles to people, and they didn't have fluid in them, and they run them without fluid, and it sucks. So.
And then it becomes your problem.
Yeah, well,
like you should have checked it, dude. Come on.
I know. So
You're the one that bought it.
Going forward, it's like fluid is like first thing on my mind when I'm doing stuff on axles now, because I've had several close calls with my stuff and other people's stuff. It's like, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, fill them up before you forget.
I was gonna fill them up. Well, I was gonna fill them up this weekend because hopefully I'll be test driving it for the first time this weekend.
Nice.
But yeah, I got both of the 30s are set up with 456s. I ended up getting a Grizzly for the rear to match the front, so it's got Grizzlies front and rear. I'm gonna try out some of the Grand Cherokee CVs in the front, and I'm just running normal axle shafts in the rear.
Okay.
Mostly because there's no like floorboard or like flooring in front of you at the firewall, so you're looking straight at the U-joints on the front axle. And so I don't want to have one of those things pop and shoot a U-joint straight into me or whoever's riding with me.
We'll put some can't you put like some steel grating on or something?
I was gonna get some
glass.
I was gonna get some plexi, like some quarter-inch plexi, maybe, but we'll see. I don't even know if I'm gonna have time to get the thing painted before I go on this shakedown at the beginning of March.
Paint's overrated, but it is nice.
This thing's like 3 different colors right now too, because I was like testing out colors on it.
What are you thinking for colors?
Right now, I thought about purple for a while, but since I have the intention of selling this thing at some point, I was told by a couple people that I should try and keep it fairly neutral.
Yeah, I agree.
That's lame, bro. What?
Yeah,
nobody's gonna want to buy your purple Dana 30 machine.
Crazy, bro? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly.
That shit would look so good. What? Yeah,
dude,
as long as you look like Baja Blue, like that's a little aggressive, you know.
The steering wheel disconnect and the shifter knob are purple.
Yeah.
So, but the axles are like a light gray, almost a primer gray, but it's not primer.
Ooh, purple and gray would look pretty sick, dude.
That's what I thought. So
if you did a dark purple, like something that you could mistake for black in the right light, I'd be okay with it.
Well, here.
Ooh, blurple. Blurple would look sick. So at nighttime it has black, but then when the sun hits it, it starts having like a purple flake, dude. Oh man,
that sounds way too expensive for what this thing is.
That's a good point. But guess what? It'll look nasty.
Maybe on the next buggy, but this one, let me get to it. So on the first podcast that I did, I don't know who named it, but somebody named it Quarter Short and Penny Shy.
I think that was Luke. Sounds like
probably Luke in regards to the buggy, because it was supposed to be more of a budget build.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up sticking with that name. So I'm doing like copper on the links and the steering.
Oh, that's cool.
Hell yeah, that's cool as shit.
I'm doing like a dark charcoal gray on the chassis, and then the axles are light gray.
Okay.
Yeah, so you need a darker paint color.
Purple.
So that's what I'm gonna do. I was messing with a bunch of colors. I did mess with purple at one point, but since somebody was like, "Yeah, you should probably go something a little more neutral," I was like, "Well,
tell them to shut the fuck up."
You could do a dark blue too. That's more.
I was gonna do like a Miller blue, like the Miller Welders originally.
Yep.
That's all right.
Which was okay, but then the charcoal gray looks good with the copper.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but I was like,
that's very neutral. The gray is nice though. Like
it's not too neutral, I don't think. Yeah.
No.
But I figured I'd put a play on the Penny Shy thing, since Luke had probably unintentionally named it that. So you can thank yourself for naming my buggy.
What's the name of it? Quarter Short?
Well, no, Penny Shy.
Penny Shy. Okay.
The Cherokee is quarter short because it's on 3/4 tons.
Oh, and because you have 30s.
It's not 1 tons. It's missing a quarter.
Yeah, that's why the Cherokee's quarter short. And my buddy John was like, "Why do you call the Cherokee quarter short?" And I was like, "'Cause it's on 3/4 ton axles." And he's like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense now."
It does.
And I was like, "Yeah." That's why, like, if you ever hear me talk about it, I never call it a 1-ton rig, because it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Quarter short.
You know.
That's fun. I like
but
that.
then Luke had called the buggy Penny Shy on the first podcast that I did. So I stuck with that, because I was building it on a budget.
Yeah.
Like the thing, I went over my original budget, but the thing's still going to be like a sub 10K buggy.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, man. Mine's looking like 15 without axles.
Yeah, this thing will be like all said and done like 8 or 9.
Yeah,
so
depending on how everything goes, I guess we should probably talk about that later. But yeah, I need to find me a fucking Chevy Silverado soon.
Yeah.
Swapping out the Ford, starting to be smart again. Nice.
No,
smart man.
Love to see it. Love to
Oh,
see
dude,
it.
you're telling me, oh, you don't miss the bedside rock? Come on, dude. What do you mean?
Nah, man, I paid to get the bedside rot taken care of, and that was like $2 grand.
Yeah, fuck that
That
shit.
sounds about right.
Now you got like
Um,
NASA aluminum in there, right? Look at it
Yeah.
wrong and it crumples, or is that a different year? I don't remember.
That's
No,
a
it
different
doesn't-
year.
Those are the
Mine's
dude
OG.
the new Illuma duties.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hate
shit.
to see it.
Mine's not aluminum. Mine's
Neither
just the
neither is
older-
my Chevy. It's also
Yeah,
nobody.
me neither, bro. Yeah, it's all rotted now. It's all air.
Weight reduction that increases your towing capacity.
Exactly. When we were moving, so my truck's been having issues, so we borrowed my grandfather's to help Graham move. And again, stupid decision. We're towing this heavy ass trailer with all of his belongings with a 1500 when I'm driving his 2500 Dodge.
Now
It was
you
dumb
say that's a stupid decision, but the things that happened
afterwards.
literally days, not like a day after we moved all that shit, makes me happy we didn't.
Correct. Which is funny now to think about it. Like we towed with your truck that Monday, so like we're lucky that it didn't happen when we had the trailer on it. But either way, like we the loading was odd because obviously it's not a vehicle. Like trying to load somebody's belongings in a trailer to make it like happy was kind of a weird way. And like then we put the 41s in the back and made it or 42s or whatever they are and fucked the whole thing up.
Yeah,
But, like
that was the problem is we mixed house stuff with car stuff, and the weight was all over the place.
and literally on the Chevy, we when we would bounce on it, because once we moved the weight, we're like, oh, let's just test it because the thing was slammed, like it was like slanted, and my brother-in-law started jumping on it, and the fucking frame was bending, like you could literally see the bed separating from the fucking body, and we're like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah, it's a spring-loaded frame, didn't you know?
Yeah. That's the newest technology.
Yeah, stronger frames. They just make them out of spring steel now.
Yeah.
But yeah, just when you said that's what made me think of that. That was ridiculous. Actually, Graham, do you want to talk about what? So how did you bend the C on the axle? We could just talk about it really
I
quick.
didn't bend the C on the axle. I bent the caliper bracket, or I bent the knuckle where the caliper bracket bolts to, and the caliper bracket. Like it's still bent. I haven't swapped it
Oh,
yet. It's been
fuck.
fine, but yes, the unit bearing let go without like any warning. It was driving fine. Like Cody, I think you can attest. You drove the thing.
Yeah.
It didn't have any issues. Like you
No
wouldn't know a
shake,
wheel
no
bearing was.
wobble, no nothing. Like that usually like you turn and you start to feel it like grind or something. Nothing,
No, nothing.
nothing at all.
So
Super
like
weird.
this thing just dropped and fucked up all my shit. And of course, I've only been moved for 2 days. Like I'm barely moved. Like I'm still moving shit. I was late because I was moving things. So I've got nowhere to put this thing, nowhere to work on it. So I'm immediately calling people around. I think I ended up calling. I called you first, Cody, and then I called Kate because I knew she could get a hold of you. And then we ended up dropping it at Marvell's place, and I fixed it there. Of course, it took out the stub shaft because the nut that threads on there had ripped the threads off the stub shaft. So I get the unit bearing. It was ready to go back together, and we're like, we can't use this. It's just going to rip off again because we can't get the nut to clamp down. Got my spare truck stub shaft. Thank you, Colin.
Oh, did
got
he
that over
finally
to me.
actually go and fucking get it?
What?
The sub shaft. Did he end up getting it for you?
Yeah, he got it.
Did he bring it to you?
He was kind of bitching about it at first, and I thought he wasn't going to get it. Me and Marvell were talking about going down that night because I mean, at this point, it's been almost a week. Like I'm sitting here. I've got this deadline to get all my stuff out of Salem and the shop and all those places by the end of this month. Like I'm rapidly running out of time, and I even then I was like, I need to be moving things that I'm not. So I'm sitting there, you're trying to get this thing. Nobody get it. I didn't want to buy one. It was $300, and I have one sitting in a yard. I just had no way to get there. I wasn't driving the Jeep there, if I could help it, and it was just this giant.
Did you end up driving the Jeep though?
Oh, I did drive the Jeep down. Yeah, I didn't put it on a trailer.
Because I got Snapchats from Colin.
Oh yeah, from probably when we stopped. Yeah, we saw him.
I got I think a picture of him like tech decking a syrup container on like a
Yes.
fork
Yes.
at like Waffle House or something like that.
Oh no, it was this
Or wherever it was.
extremely overpriced fucking deli that Caitlin chose. It was ridiculous.
That place was
$13 for what was it? A tuna sandwich? No, a turkey sandwich or something. What did RJ say it was? It was something.
and it wasn't even that good.
No, it
And
wasn't.
it took forever. And the I don't know. Fuck
I
that
would
place.
have been happy with McDonald's, to be honest with you, bro. Like that was kind of
Liquor.
stupid for them to go there. Like that was dumb, really dumb.
But yeah, either way,
It was good.
that we literally had just finished pulling, because we did end up using my truck to pull the trailer to, where are we going with it? Oh, to unload it at the storage unit, to put the rest of my crap in the storage unit and the stuff in the bed. Like we had the truck loaded with shit in the bed, and we had the trailer on it. Brought it all to the storage unit, dropped it all off, brought it back. I drove home. The next morning next evening, 5 o'clock, I got out of work, drove to get food, drove to go get on the highway to go get more shit, and the wheel falls off. I'm like, well, fuck. That's just a giant mess. And now
Did the wheel actually fall off going down the highway?
Well, I wasn't on the highway, fortunately. I was just on the side road, like kind of near my apartment. But yeah, I mean, I was probably going like 30, and it just kind of did a little weird thing where it wasn't right, and then it felt like the wheel wasn't doing what it was supposed to be doing. So I was like, okay, yeah, my wheel fell off, cool. And I honestly would not have guessed unit bearing. That was not my first guess. I was kind of surprised. But yeah, if we put that all back together, stub shaft, unit bearing, all back together, good to go. Drive it. And Buck was with me. And I was like, the brakes feel a little weird. I didn't really think anything of it. And it was fine. And it's been fine. I'm not worried about it now that I know what it is. But we, commented on that. It's fine. Drove around, made sure it was good. I drove it all the way back to the shop to help Jacob load some stuff up and get some of my stuff out as well. And I was like, okay, let me check over everything that we did, make sure it's still good. Drove it for 2 hours. Let's just double check it. And we go and we jack up one side, and I wiggle it side to side. I'm like, huh, okay, so there's some tie rod play. That's I kind of expected it. The tie rod I don't think has ever been changed. Whatever, that's no big deal. And then I was like, okay, well, let's check the ball joints. So I get underneath it. I told Jacob to take the pry bar, move the wheel up and down. I think the thing moves like half a centimeter easily. Like this whole thing is moving up and down in the sockets. I'm like, shit. So my entire front end is blown out. Both sides, all 4 ball joints, the tie rod ends and all ends. I don't know how it drove mint. Like you never would have known it was completely blown out. But that was going to be next, so I had to do all that bullshit. And yeah, now we're back to moving and hopefully in the clear with that shit. That's my fun.
You get all your shit out yet?
Of what?
The
answer is no. We're close,
boy.
But I still have more shit to get from the storage unit. I've got a 0460, a 14 bolt with a truss, another 24 valve short block kind of. About 1 million ring and pinions that I'm never going to use. I should just scrap them, but
you do have.
You never know.
He's not joking when he says a fucking million. By the way, there's literally
entire
a pile.
From what?
From just anything. We got 10 5s, we got 14 bolts, we got 30s, we got
I have so many 30 ring and pinions now.
I'm
doing this buggy.
I feel like you could, especially carriers. The biggest thing for me is having the carriers floating around, because you never know when you're going to need to swap a carrier or weld a carrier up and need to have something to use as a donor for that. That's the main reason I keep them. But then it's also, I don't know, it's kind of like a nice reminder of all the gear sets I've done, right? But I should just trash them because they're taking up a lot of space.
Dude, I'm the same way though. My shop, dude, I have so much stuff. We call it LKQ because there's so many, and out back, behind the one barn that we have on our property, I have a junkyard at my house. Full blown junkyard. You go in the one barn, dude, I have a pile of axles.
That's that's the best. I would love to have a
pile of axles.
Has a pile of axles.
I have a box of axle shafts. And then I have
a shaft pile.
A pile of tires. We just ton of tires.
You want to know
Like
the best way to get rid of the tires?
everything.
Find a goat barn. No, goat barns love tires because the goats will chew on them and then jump around on them. They love them.
We have a lot of tires though.
Yeah, goat barns love them. I'm telling you.
I don't know if
Call
there's
'em
any
up.
around here.
You got the Google machine, brother. Just Google it up.
Yeah, I
and you
do.
got-
Or I'll just keep hanging on to them and never use them.
Yeah, they'll just dry
Like
around.
most of my stuff.
Become useless.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. It's totally fine.
It's fine.
Don't talk
You
about
could
my
dig a
XJ like
trench
that.
and bury them.
Dude,
I'm
that's
just
what's going on with my XJ right now. It's been sitting in the barn. I haven't touched it since September.
I've
Just
been every
collecting-
paycheck just buying parts for it, and then like it's going to Sam at Naked and Afraid for we're doing the door removal, a little bit of front tube work.
Node removal. No more nodes.
All the
No,
nodes
we're
are
not doing
gone.
that. Spreader bars on the windshield.
You doing like a front end cage? Or something?
Not like a not super serious on the front end cage. I'm just running some stuff up to the front and adding a couple of supports for it because
Oh,
like
okay.
my fucking Jeep's coming apart. So like I guess we could get into this. My Jeep's coming apart and I really like his chassis ideas and some of the feedback that's been going on between the two of us and the price on the chassis. I think I'm just gonna end up going that route at some point probably this year. So
I was only asking about the front end stuff because I just wrapped up a front end cage on my buddy John's Comanche.
don't get me wrong, my rig
So-
needs it, but I'm just at this point where like
Like are you talking a dove nose or just cage around the existing body?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Just a existing, like,
Okay.
you're not
Like
going
what
to
you
be able
did
to
on yours?
see it. Yeah, similar to mine, but on the outside of the wheel wells, so it's going to be tucked under the fenders.
Okay.
It's about 1.5 inches just to keep some structure in the front. It's tied into his shock hoops because he's got ORIs in all four corners.
Nice.
So we just did a hooper on the front, some tie-ins to the front frame rails, blew through the wheel well walls to tie the like fender tubes into the hoops. And then there's just a little extra support from the fender bar to the A-pillar. I'm trying to find a picture of it to shoot it in the chat. I thought I took a picture of it, but I think I have more pictures of the buggy because I've actually been like making progress on it lately.
Yeah, I like the tubing out the inside of a Cherokee is pretty easy, and it makes it last so much longer. Like I don't care about the lack of clearance, right? I just want it to kind of look like a Cherokee for as long as possible.
That's what I like to do. Like, I mean, I cut the roof off of mine and put a cage on it, but I still
Looks
wanted it
like
to
a
look like a Cherokee.
Yeah. Like I don't know, Curtis is I like Curtis's looks good, but it doesn't look like a Cherokee. When you get rid of the front like that, it just
Yeah, it
then
looks
it's more
better.
like a buggy.
It's a modified trash can. It looks good for once.
All right,
No,
cut your
it's
nose
just
off.
even bigger.
Oh wait,
of
don't
a
tell him
trash
I
can.
said that. Don't tell him I said his rig looks good. Okay, we can pretend like I didn't say that.
You
Okay.
can just cut it, and then you can get me here saying that it's just even bigger of a trash can.
Yes.
Just
How good is
like
when he rolled over, all of his shit fell out. So how good is a trash can that can't hold shit?
just as
one
good
that
as a
goes-
vacuum that can't suck.
Exactly. Oh shit. So what's the? You said that you wanted to sell the buggy once you're done with it. No, what's really the point of building up just to know you're gonna sell it? You don't want to long term keep it.
Not really. I'm gonna wheel it for like a season, probably or so, and then put it up and see if I can get anybody to pick it up.
Now, is that because you know that selling it now would yield less money? Because I'm guessing you're just over it. You've kind of realized that style and or design is not what you wanted to go with.
Well, I already tried to put it up before. I put it up for sale before I had even, like a while ago, before it was
Mhm.
even remotely done, and I didn't really have any serious, like, anybody on it, you know. And I was like, well, at the point that it's at right now, which was like it wasn't running. I still like I hadn't finished gearing and putting together the axles or anything. Like I was like, I
Yeah,
basically
that's
either have to
tough,
completely finish it or part it out entirely.
Yep.
And I still wanted to finish it, but like not too well, probably like halfway through last year when I was working on it, and like I mean it's the first tube chassis that I've ever built. So and if anybody tries to tell you that the first tube chassis you ever build is perfect, they're
No.
lying. Like blatantly lying. So like,
Mhm.
you know, this whole thing's been mostly just like a fuck around and find out kind of buggy. Like, you know, that's why like it's right hand drive. It's on Dana 30s because why not? It's rear steer, which I've never done before. You know, so like I was just building it because I wanted to like see what I could do and like learn more about chassis design and whatnot to
Yeah,
try and
it's like you don't want to do that to your Jeep because that would you like that as it is, but you do want to try the other stuff out. I get that, right?
yes. So I was like, my Cherokee. Granted, I have stuff to do to it still. Like I have ORIs sitting. I have a pair of ORIs that have been sitting on my shelf for like a year now. I haven't touched them. I have a Dana 300 that's been sitting on the shelf too. Like I have a bunch of stuff for the thing, but like,
Or you just sell that. I wouldn't even bother.
well, yeah, that's why I don't think I'm putting that in the Cherokee. I don't even know if I'm going to put any of that on the Cherokee. I might just put it on another buggy. At least the ORIs. But,
Mm.
but yeah, I was like, I wanted to, you know, the Cherokee works. It also works at rolling over.
Yes. Yes,
But
it
it
does.
works pretty well. And I was like, I'm just gonna leave it because then I have a reliable rig I can wheel. And I started building the buggy to just like get an idea, start messing with stuff. Since everything kind of seems like it's going towards buggies now.
Yeah.
You know, everybody on like Facebook's doing it. Like rock crawling competitions seem like they're coming back into style because I mean they were big in the earlier 2000s, and I think they kind of died out for a while, and now they're coming back. I think.
Yeah, it's funny how things kind of go in waves, right?
Yeah. So I want to try and I'm trying to like catch the up side of the wave and like learn how to do stuff now so I can
Mhm.
like get into it beforehand because I'd like to not be a repair mechanic like I am right now for a living, and I want to try and hop into like some sort of chassis shop or something like that to.
Hey, wasn't it Brian Crower? Wasn't he the one that was he was just looking to hire somebody?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Oh, who's the guy that?
I've seen Busted Knuckle put a couple of ads up.
No, there was a guy that was looking for fat. Who's the guy that builds the We Rock buggies? Isn't that Brian Crower? No.
That's completely blanking right now.
Fuck. I'm an idiot. I should know this.
Jesse Haynes.
Yeah, Jesse Haynes was looking for people. That's who it was.
Yeah, because I'd seen a couple comment threads where somebody was asking him because they wanted to buy one of his chassis, and he was like, "I don't have enough people to build chassis right now. Like, I don't have enough manpower."
That's never good.
No. Yikes.
Oh man.
But yeah, I want to at least get a couple, at least more than just this buggy under my belt before I like try and make any big moves, you know?
Yeah, build your resume, right? Get a couple,
Yeah.
so you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
and
so
you
that's
can actually go in confident.
exactly. But that's why I want to sell the thing. Like I'm not, you know, it's not perfect. There's been a lot of stuff that I want to change on it even before I even, you know, like I just welded the stuff on, sat on it for like a week and I was like I'm not huge on that. Like it'll work, but I'm not like wish I did it a little differently. So there's been a bunch of like minor stuff that just I wish I could tweak it a little bit. But we're gonna see how this thing does. I mean,
I'm sure it'll do fine, minus the Dana 30s. We'll see how those last.
I think they'll be okay. I mean, I've managed to keep the 44 and the 60 together fairly well under my Cherokee, so I'm not too scared.
Yeah, fair. Well,
It'll be
when you are done with it, sell it to Cody. He's looking for that kind of
Dude,
shit.
I've told
No,
several people that I know, I'll be
no.
like, "Hey, I got a buggy for sale."
Now he doesn't want it. Now he's backing up. He doesn't want a Dana 30 rear steer buggy.
No, I do not. I want a Toyota rear steer buggy.
No, you don't want
What's
a
the
Toyota.
difference?
Those axles are
There's
junk.
no
I'm not
difference.
gay.
Dude,
No,
you can go to any parts store anywhere in the middle of nowhere and you can find Dana 30 parts. Good luck finding Toyota parts.
Yeah, have
You're
fun finding a
not
Burfield.
wrong.
I'm gonna watch you trying to take those stupid clips out too. You're gonna have a blast.
Yeah, dude, you can go to a junkyard 10 minutes down the road from the park and find a Cherokee that's big, half torn apart.
Or a Wrangler, or a ZJ, or a
ZJ? Yeah.
WJ, any of that shit. It should all work, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not all the WJ stuff. I don't know for sure, but
The ZJ stuff definitely though.
yes.
All right, maybe we'll talk
There you
about
go.
it.
But yeah, that's why I had been intending on selling it because I
You got
wanted
pictures
to.
of this thing? Yes, let me see some pictures.
I sent Luke. I'll try and send a couple in.
Because right now your time frame does line up to where my time frame kind of is. So we'll see. And I do want rear steer, but like I want to see what the chassis design. I know I've seen pictures of it, but I
It's
like
like the biggest thing that I'm not happy with is the belly pan.
how tall are you?
I'm 6'3".
And you fit into it comfortably?
Yeah.
How
Curtis
you-
sat in it too, and he fit in it pretty well.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have
That's
to check this
impressive.
thing out. Let me.
It's,
Is it on your
you
Instagram?
You don't
Let
have
me
to
just
cut a hole in
look
the
it up.
roof.
No, dude, I don't post very much about it.
Oh, geez. Well, can you
Sorry.
send me a selfie with it or something at least? Jeez.
Here, I'll try and send it.
You prove you own this thing.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Put a shoe on your head. Put a shoe on your head. But I don't know. We'll see. You're not wrong. That was actually like the first time somebody's brought that up, and I'm like, fuck, they're kind of right. Like, god damn it, I hate that. That's really true.
I could have told you the Toyota axles were a dumb idea.
Yeah.
Way earlier.
I know, but I just know the reliability behind a Toyota
They're
axle.
not any different than a 30.
Not by a whole lot. No.
With fucking, you could do the portals on them, and then it's really fun.
Yeah,
But
but that's money.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Are
Fuck
you
it.
guys- I don't see you putting portals on.
No,
it
I
on a
don't either.
Toyota
But like, I could.
Look,
exactly. So
Alright,
stop.
dude.
My
Jeez.
thought is that
You could build a
if
custom 40 spline Dana
Well,
30 if
here,
you wanted to too. It would be stupid.
yeah,
There's
my
I'm putting a couple in the
How
DCO
heavy
podcast
is
channel.
that? That's perfect. How heavy is that
I'm
front
trying to
axle? Because I know you've beefed the living shit out of it, and I wanted to just know how heavy is it?
What, the front 30?
Yeah, the front 30.
I don't know an exact weight, but I had the thing on one of my benches.
Oh shit. Okay.
When I was like finished welding and doing the gears and stuff. And I like fully assembled this thing, and my brother was out in the shop with me, and I was like, all right, let's like put this thing down on the floor. It is a lot heavier than I was expecting it to be because we picked the thing up and we're like, oh, and like immediately almost dropped the thing onto the floor.
So now see, now you hear that I'm interested. Now what's your color? Because I'm over here preaching the blurple, and like, if you point in the right direction, if the shoe fits. No, but this thing's actually sick, and I do like your chassis style.
A couple of cans of Krylon are pretty cheap.
I just don't like that fucking, it looks normal, but like to me that first, like, see where that like the angled A pillar comes down at like a direct 90 for some reason. That looks weird to me, and I don't know if that's
What?
just
Here,
me or
what do you mean a direct 90?
hold
Here,
on,
let me find a
I'll
let me get
share
a
my
side shot.
screen and Graham can harass me for it.
Here.
So right here, it's
Oh wait, let me get on that.
I'm gonna
this.
guess that 30
Like
probably
this?
weighs in somewhere around
Oh.
350
you don't
to
like-
400.
Oh,
It just
the
looks weird
firewall?
to me. So to anybody who's listening, what I'm pointing, because obviously they can't see the fucking screen right now.
Yeah.
So what I'm talking about is he has a double A, which is badass. I love that. Just throwing that out there. But the angled like 45,
Yeah.
maybe a 50-degree A that comes down has a 90. That's like extremely harsh. And like this to me just looks weird. Obviously, it's probably fine, and
It's not
weird.
It
here.
doesn't
I'm trying to
flow,
find a
but
couple
it's
other pictures.
fine. I don't
It
think there's
flows
any issue
better
with
if
that.
you see it from the side. Here, give me a
Yeah.
second.
Oh shit! I mean, look, that thing looks rough.
Here.
Okay. Oh, that looks wait. Okay, no, that looks
Here,
normal now.
here's another side picture. There's another picture coming in a second here. Like
How-
this is a full blown side shot that's coming.
Damn! Wait, holy fuck! This thing's up there. Because is this a 40 or 37s?
That's a 37.
Damn, that's like what 5-6 inches above the 37.
That was 47 inches off the ground to the bottom of the tire.
Damn. Damn.
It's on 14s in the front and 16s in the
Oh.
rear.
Wait, actually, yeah, this is fucking sick.
It flows. Just the belly. The belly could use a couple more triangles, which is the thing that I'm not happy about. But I was making up for it with like taco style gussets because those add a lot of strength.
Whatever you do, don't do that blue.
I'm not
Jeep
doing that blue.
You know what?
I'm not.
Smurf blue.
We're not doing Smurf blue.
Don't worry, Cody. When I do a chassis, it's going to be the same Krylon as my
The non-existent Krylon color. Yeah.
I
that
do
literally
Depot
exist
picked that
on
one up.
Amazon.
Special order.
This
Yeah,
door bar
Direct from
style
Bezos.
is something that like Luke in reference to what you and I were talking about before.
Yeah, having the front of the
it's
door bar
further-
be
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
having the full piece come from your shoulder blade and then shoulder and then down. Now, yeah, no, I fuck with this. I think the design is
the only thing is you have to keep in mind right now it's right-hand drive.
mid, dude. That's sick.
Which
I
is-
want it. That's
Yeah,
so
a
sick.
lot of people are like, "Why'd you do right-hand drive?" And I was like, "Why not?"
Yeah, because I
Like
fucking
I'm building the whole
can.
thing from scratch, and I can do it. Like you can see all 4 tires from the driver's seat.
Yeah,
Like you can look over your right shoulder, see the back tire. You can look through the floorboard, see the right front. You can look over the over the center console, so to speak, and see the left front tire, and then you can look back between the seats and see the left rear tire.
yeah. Don't fuck this thing up. We'll be
You
talking
can
cash
see
monies
all
at
of
that point.
you know,
Um,
and like
where's the radiator actually? Oh, it's right behind the seats.
behind the seats, it's a rear radiator. Rear
That's
mount radiator. The fuel
terrible.
cell's behind that. It's a 15-gallon fuel cell with a Cherokee pump in it.
I don't mind the cell being there. The radiator is what concerns
Cody,
me.
you get a splash shield.
Bro,
Yeah,
how
no, I'm
many
putting plexi. I'm
Okay.
putting plexi behind the seats and
How,
on
though?
top of the radiators.
The pillars are before. Oh, I see what you say. Okay, no.
What?
The radiator is below that horizontal bar, right?
Yeah, the radiator's below the horizontal bar
Oh,
and
fuck.
behind the harness bar.
Yeah, fuck yeah, that's dope. Okay, cool.
And the rear steer is on an independent system from the front steering. It
Yeah.
uses a Volvo power steering pump. So if you have an engine issue, you can just turn on the power and run the rear steer without the engine running because it runs off the battery.
Yeah, definitely.
So
we'll be
like I
chatting.
thought the thing through because I've like so you can still get off you can have somebody drag you off the trail and you can just run the rear steer to steer out because we all know how trying to get dragged off the trail with a dead rig and full hydro is.
How
Yeah,
much?
it sucks.
It's not fun.
You actually have a shit ton of approach angle too. That's fucking sick.
It's full approach. You could drive up a wall.
That's so. I was gonna say, how many inches from like your first I guess toe point. I hate calling it that.
It's it's pretty close to the front of the tires.
That's sick.
But you can nose up on a straight up wall and probably climb up it. The rear's got all the departure angle. It's like a 111-inch wheelbase and like a 19-inch belly at the ride height that I set it at, which was like maybe 5 inches of shaft showing in the front on a 14.
That's sick. Wait, what was the wheelbase you said? 110, 114?
111 or right around 111.
Chef's kiss on that one. That's perfect. God dang it. Why do you guys even have to talk to me? Because now God damn it. Where's the credit
Exactly
card?
what you've been talking about.
It is
What you
exactly
want.
it's literally exactly. I thought it was different. So the pictures that I originally saw, this thing was way less complete. And now that it's like more together and like sitting and like looking at it, it's like, God damn it, that is literally exactly what I want.
Yeah,
Now,
It's got the
first
Ibex
time
chassis look. So,
it does.
I mean,
it's a
check
mix
box.
of a few different chassis designs. There was like a little bit of the Ibex. There was a little bit of the Rock Lizard
Mhm.
in there. So because
Oh yeah,
most of
rear
the
styling
big
is Rock Lizard, then front is Ibex. Wait a second, that looks fucking sick. Hold on, now I'm realizing that looks fucking so good. I love that.
let me see. I think I have like one. Let me find one more good picture of it,
You-
like kind of
you-
at ride height.
The vertical bars under the harness bar, like, and then from that point backwards, just screams Rock Lizard. That looks so sick.
Here, I'll send a couple. Let me find a couple others here.
Now, how hard would it be? Like, let's say I get into it, not me, but like in general, the person. Okay, we're gonna take me out of it. The person who buys this thing, if they hate right-hand drive, if they're like, I can't do this, my left-hand brain is not working, how hard would you say it would be to swap everything over to left-hand drive?
I don't think it would be hard at all. I mean, it's full hydro, so you're gonna have to buy some new hydraulic lines probably. You make a new mount for the orbital over on the left-hand side, and then you have to make a mount for the gas pedal and then the brake booster. It's using a Cherokee booster with the stem shortened. Um, so like you have to reroute a few brake lines, and then you reroute the power steering lines.
Yeah, that ain't even that bad.
Like it's really not that difficult.
Wasn't
to
there a
swap it
reason
over.
you put it on the passenger side, or you
because his left nut is bigger than his right
Yeah.
nut. So when he slides in, if he does it the opposite way, that nut hits first, and like you can't be having that. That's why.
No, I thought there was a reason. I feel like last time we talked to you, you gave a reason as to why.
So, yeah, I did, and I think there is enough room to put it on the left-hand side.
Gotcha.
But it's just a little bit comfier on the right-hand side, which I know that sounds kind of weird, but
it's because the manifold and all the shit, right? It's narrower.
Yeah, the intake manifold sticks over really far on the left-hand side of the engine, so it doesn't package quite as well, and there's nothing on the right-hand side. And then with the way that the trans tunnel that I have on there curves, because it curves outwards. I don't know if you can tell that in any of the pictures, but it curves outwards. So your feet being on the pedals, it's more comfortable to be on the right side with how the trans tunnel curves in.
You can see it from the first picture you sent. It shows the interior view.
Yeah, because that's just like how the AW4s are. They're kind of chunkier on one side.
I was just about to ask, this is a 4-liter to an AW4, I'm guessing?
Yep, 4-liter AW4. Right now it has a 231 that's clocked up.
Cool. Fuck yeah.
Is there any room to clock the 231 back down, or is it
no?
Like the skid
there's
plate?
No room. It's like on the belly.
Yeah.
What you could do, it would be a little bit weird, but you could move your brake pedal and your gas pedal a little over more towards the outside of the buggy if you were to flip it over to get away from that the tunnel. It would be a little bit weird to drive, but it would at least allow you to get your feet flat.
Yeah, that's how it would be. It would be offset a little bit to the outside, so your feet would kind of be over to the left more if you were to switch it over. But I mean, I've seen a lot more of these smaller buggies are kind of like that. I've noticed because I've been looking at a lot of different chassis.
I think the Jesse Haynes Fab one, you actually sit at an angle.
Yeah, you do.
I think so. Yeah. Where's this picture?
You sit at you sit almost like a 45, like it's tipped back a few degrees. Well, not a 45.
So,
like you still need like
like your feet are sideways a little bit, like the whole seating position.
Oh shit!
It's
I thought you meant like tipped back, like you were like
no, like center line over, like front to back crooked, not like up and down.
I guess I'd probably feel kind of no, because then tracking would be weird. Like going straight down a trail would be fucking awkward.
Yeah, but I mean it's rear steer anyway, so you just kick it a little bit and you're driving straight.
Just fucking catwalking it a little bit, just like bloop, all right, we're good.
Yeah,
that's fucking great.
The other part that would be pretty cool about that is it would be really cheap to throw in a set of like axle shafts because you could just get 760 super joints.
Mm-hmm.
Run a full case locker, front and rear. Actually, that's kind of a cool fucking setup. And then if you ever wanted to upgrade the axles, you'd already have the hydro and shit, but you could throw in like a JK30 and a front and rear or JK44s.
What knuckles do you have on that? Now that we're sitting on the front, not the rear.
It's stock knuckles all the way around with double shear arms welded on them.
Mm-hmm.
Front and rear.
God dang it. Why'd you have to even bring this up, Graham? You fucker.
So the front
turning.
That's what I'm here for.
Why did you come? You weren't supposed to be here
today. Hey, we were supposed to talk about the buggy anyway, and here we are.
Now I'm looking at and I love that you sent pictures because now it's one of those things that we get to overanalyze the living shit out of it and ask questions. So I'm happy that you sent pictures of.
I have a ton of pictures. I just don't post. I haven't really been posting on social media anymore,
Yeah,
so like, I
don't post because then I'll have competition for buying this thing. So like don't
Yeah.
post it at all. Like keep it like just yourself, like selfies only, maybe like some soapy shower pics. Like that's it. Like no buggy.
Yeah.
Now are you
I'm posting.
concerned at all by the dead end tube on like the lower slider there? Are you concerned with oh no, never mind. It
Which
connects to
one?
the belly. Okay. I didn't see so I'm
One
looking
of
at
them. If
the
you look
side
at the
angle.
side angle, that side doesn't have the tie-in up to the rocker yet.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look, I don't know if you can see it on one of the other sides. That
No.
dead end on the belly does tie in up to the rocker.
Okay, fuck yeah.
If that's what you're concerned about, it does.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Just in that picture, it didn't because I sleeved the section and put the bend in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, like in that picture of the side, it doesn't have the tie into the rocker, but there is one
And
that kicks up.
do you have any plans to gusset more of it, or are you just keeping it raw dog?
Gusset where?
No, just curious, like with any of the, I don't know.
Oh,
temperament-
the belly. I'm gusseting the belly like as much as because that's one of the things that I wasn't super happy with. Is there's like a lack of triangulation in the belly.
Mhm.
So I'm gusseting that basically in every single corner that I can with like taco gussets,
Mhm.
which they have several different names for those, but
Talking about the ones that wrap
look like a
around the
taco.
yeah,
tube.
that wrap
Yeah.
around, yeah, because those add a good amount of strength when you don't have triangulation, which it's not the proper way to do it, but
Do you have a picture of this thing at full bump with the front? Because I've been noticing that the harmonic balancer looks like it's going to interfere with the axle.
it clears. Oh, it all clears. Don't you worry.
Really? It
Everything
fucking
clears.
that?
I think it was
I have-
tight. I
I
remember
have
you sent a
pictures.
picture.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
really close.
I did bump the I lowered the bump like full bump level, so there's a little more clearance now.
Mhm.
But it does all clear.
That's impressive. I mean, I guess it makes sense because of the angle that the axle is going to go
Here,
on.
this one, that's not the picture I was looking for, but that's you can kind of tell on that one. But it all clears, everything clears at full bump.
What?
It's been cycled several times.
Why did Luke? Why did I just saw
Um,
the picture you posted, bro? What the fuck? What the fuck? There's so many Pepe memes in that one picture. What the fuck is that?
I figured that we
Oh,
were having
doing
a very serious discussion about the merits of a buggy.
Can
Why
I?
not throw something funny in there to?
Well, let me put this video in here.
Yeah, it might.
I'm sending. So this
Podcast
is
cover
the old
material right
video,
there.
and I think I sent this video the last time we talked about it. This was before I lowered the full bump, like at least half an inch. It was super tight.
My God, that is
It
so
was
close.
like wicked tight to the harmonic balancer. Now it's got like probably like a good inch or so at
That's
full
Least
bump.
running a.
Clearance.
Are you running air bumps and poly motor mounts?
It's got poly motor mounts and a trans mount. I'm not running air bumps because it wasn't
Okay.
supposed to be like a fast buggy. It's supposed to be a crawler buggy.
My
Mhm.
only reason for asking is that like I'm running the rubber bumps in the rear of my rig and it takes a lot to get them to bottom out, but they do bottom out. So just some food for thought.
Yeah,
And they
that's
squish
something
almost the whole way.
that
Yeah.
that's something that I'm messing with the air shocks too because there's a process to tune those, but
Yes,
you
there
know
is.
the oil in them takes up the oil kind of acts as the like it's not what it's supposed to be, but it kind of acts as an internal
Yeah, it
bump.
hydrolocks itself.
Oh
Yeah.
my.
Yeah, it hydrolocks. So you end up once you have it filled properly with oil, you end up losing like maybe an inch's worth of up travel out of them,
Mhm.
depending on how much oil you have in them.
That sounds like
Yeah.
a good way to blow out the seals on that. On those.
They work.
No, it's only bad if you like grossly overfill them for what they're supposed to have. That's
Yeah,
when you blow it
Designed
out.
to
When you like,
have fluid in them, Cody. Come on.
yeah,
You can't blow them out by putting fluid in them. That would be a manufacturing error.
you can blow them up by putting too much fluid in though. That's
Oh,
for
I'm
sure.
sure you could. I'm sure you could. That's great though. Now I noticed a lot of people with air shock rigs, and I think you said you were putting ORIs on it instead of the air shocks. You said
No, I just have ORIs for something else.
Okay.
I
So
don't know. This is gonna keep the air shocks all the way around.
now I've seen a few people do center limit straps, so that way they don't fully like
Luke's done
extend
that.
out.
Yes,
Now,
I've seen that. So,
is that because of poor air shock tuning, or
I mean, probably a little bit, and
I did it not for that. I did it because on my rig, it had to do with the fact that I was running a slightly aggressive anti-squat because I had the Clayton kit in there. And so by running that, in addition to alleviating some of the issues I had when I would get up to speed where it would just start like trying to push off, it made it so that if I got the nose too far vertical, it would stop from pushing the ass end up and unloading. Or if I was reversing up something, it made it just more tolerable.
Luke, we talked about the triangulation numbers on this thing a while ago.
I forget what they were.
Wait, I have them still. 1 second.
as you say, it looked like your rear under super hard flex rotated a ton. Like, was that center roll or some shit like that? Whatever the term is. Like it turned. What's that term?
It is called
roll axis.
Roll axis.
Yeah, that's what it is. Looks
so
like
it's a picture though. You can't tell from a picture whether it's
so
rolling.
here.
So also it's got rear steer. Just adjust for that.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's the thing. That's what Curtis was giving me crap because he's like, oh, well, it's a double triangulated, four link, so you're gonna have like axle steering, so to speak, with how it flexes. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't matter because it's a steering axle.
I thought it was the opposite. I thought single triangulated was.
I thought it was double, but maybe I don't know.
I think it's single.
Is it single?
Yeah, if you've got double, it probably doesn't steer that bad at all.
Either way, it's double. The rear with how, and I think it'll get. I don't remember if it'll get worse or better. I don't remember what the numbers are, but it's like around a 65% anti-squat, which is very low comparatively.
Yeah,
the roll axis is negative 10 degrees.
Now, I can't remember where it inverts, but I want to say that anti-dive translates into sucking the front axle up, and anti-squat translates into pushing the rear axle down. So you might end up wanting to consider that.
Well, so anti-squat, 100% is supposed to be when you like accelerate, the chassis doesn't move. It just goes straight. It's a neutral. Above 100%, it'll pick up, I think.
I think you have that one inverted.
Or do I have that backwards?
It's going to push off with
it pushes,
low anti-squat.
Yeah.
So like on my rig.
So yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. The lower the number under 100%, it pushes, and the higher number it squats really. So like everybody that does trail rig style stuff, they shoot for like 100 or 120%. I know.
Yeah, my rig. I have adjustment between I think it's 110 and 90. So I have it currently set to 110. Eventually I plan on dropping the lower control arm mounts lower, so that way I can bring it down a little bit and correct some pinion angle issues I'm having. But yeah.
Yes. I think we talked about it in the past with the low number that I have, the 65%. So it'll pull away from the body. There's a rear suck down winch though, which I was talking about.
Yeah.
There's a rear suck down winch to help control that.
Gram's over here shitting himself.
Calm down, Cody.
I saw that and I was waiting to bring it up. That's the reason I'm so excited.
There's a little baby rear suck down winch mounted on the rear of the chassis to help combat that if I have an issue.
But you got air shock, so it's kind of required. They want to lift off anyways.
They do. And from all the research that I had done, you want a lower number for crawling, like hardcore crawling. to keep the tires planted. Because it'll be trying to pull the axle away from the chassis and like down into the rocks.
Yep.
Somebody who's smarter than me can correct me on that if they are listening and I'm wrong, but that was what that's what I gathered from all of the research that I was doing.
You're correct. The only thing that it's going to do is when you put it in reverse, it's going to try and suck the axle up potentially. When you go to stand on it, it's going to push the axle down. So you're going to be using that rear suck down winch a lot. And
I was planning on using it as a limiting strap in the rear.
Yeah. You're also looking at the potential for axle hop.
Yes.
Aggressive axle hop. But the solution for that is very simple.
Driver mod.
Yes.
I wasn't even going to say driver mod. I was going to say that if it ends up being too aggressive, you can raise the upper link and shorten it a little bit, and it will take care of that.
Yeah, these are on my lowest setting for the upper links on the chassis. They can go up 2 more holes on the brackets.
Yeah, you might end up going.
So
yeah, options at least.
Yeah, I wanted the options. So I can raise the separation on the chassis a little bit more if I need to.
Yeah, it sounds pretty decent across the board.
So the front's at a 71% anti-dive.
Yeah, you're running totally opposite to what I am.
But I was building it for like specific crawling, so.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I totally get that. I'm running, I think, 115 up front, so my front axle actually sucks down when you go to get on it, and the rear axle is at like, I want to say the 110 mark. So like it also does. So it's really weird. Cody can attest to this, but the whole chassis like kind of squats when you get on it.
That's got to be nice for like the steep climbs though.
Yeah.
The front pull down more.
Yeah, that's how mine does too. When I'm on throttle, it like sucks the front end in and like pulls it closer. It's cool.
I'm running like I think around like an 85% on my Cherokee on the 3-link.
Yeah.
Which I know is a little bit of a different dynamic, but it's not very much different than a 4-link. I'm like, I think it's like an 85% on there. And it picks up a little bit when there's a noticeable pickup when you have it on the throttle.
Well, you can't get on the throttle all that hard. You have a Dana 44 after all.
I don't get on the throttle very hard.
We're going to change that at Good Evening Ranch.
I might bring the buggy down there.
Yeah, speaking of which, bring it so that way I can sit in it, you know?
I was thinking about bringing it down there because I'm taking the Cherokee to the Great American Walt trip.
Yeah. Bring that for sure. It'll be.
I was thinking about doing one for each.
Hell yeah!
Cool.
But also like 2 weeks after the Walt trip, there's a rock crawling competition at the Badlands in Indiana, and I was gonna try and register the buggy for that. It's like 2 weeks later, so I didn't want to take it there and break it and then have 2 weeks to fix it. So I was like, I'll take the Cherokee to S'more.
The buggy was pretty cool at Good Evening.
That's what I figured because that looks like there's some technical stuff there.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about S'more, but
S'more
there's a lot of technical stuff you can get into at Good Evening for sure.
S'more is like, at least from the Midwest wheeling that I've done, which is a pretty decent amount of Midwest wheeling, it's like the epitome of Midwest wheeling, which is like there's a good amount of bumping stuff. There's some throttle. Good. Yeah, it's a lot of the staple obstacles and climbs are like waterfall based climbs and ledges.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is some
like just isn't really.
No, well, it's the funny, you get more traction at night there for some reason. And I know that sounds weird, but we were wheeling some of the trails we did during the day at night because they keep the trails open until midnight. Dude, once the sun went down, we were hooking up on stuff way better. And I'm assuming it has to do with temperature outside, ambient temperature being cooler.
I would have thought it would be the opposite, but I guess maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but
usually you are correct.
I usually am,
but it's gonna be like like Richie was just kind of talking about moisture. Maybe the moisture makes the rock stickier. Isn't there?
Yeah.
How is
Some-
it like
They
after
sweat. They
really
sweat.
light rain?
Oh, dude, even in like a downpour, I've wheeled in a downpour before, and it was hooking up really well.
So yeah, then it's probably you get
So
dew factor going.
yeah, once,
Hmm.
but yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like
that does
it's
make sense. That's like Field and Forest is the same way, from what I understand. It when it rains and the dirt washes off everything, you actually hook up pretty good.
That's how Harlan was. AOP is not like that.
No. Mud sliding down rocks is no different than the mud being on the rocks.
Yeah, AOP's a bump fest unless it's like bone
Unless
dry.
it's bone desert dry like it was when we were there.
Dude, it's so. I know I've said it and I'm gonna end up saying it again, but it is like the weirdest thing. I went a couple weeks after we went to Trail Trash Bash, and going there again, Trail 41 was a motherfucker, like second and third gear clutch dumping to get up some of the shit that we like first gear idled up.
Yeah, I'd believe it. I mean, the one time we went when when we and Colin, like, and I guess you were in the rain too, when we were actually going and it was a little slick on the right side of that property. And there was definitely some bumping happening. Colin took a minute to get up. I took a minute to get up. What's his face? Rev limiter boy made it up, no problem. But he's got 44s and 40s, so he wasn't getting stuck.
Chris Doan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Burger King.
He's a hoot to wheel with.
Yeah, he wheels that thing well. It's I mean, it's a shit box, but it does what it's supposed to do. That's all it needs to do. So yeah,
it does. I mean,
he showed the rest of us up. He was like,
broken.
"You don't want tons." He was like, "You're right."
He holds that high.
Yes.
He'll be like, "Yeah, I'm following you. You guys are on tons and 43s. I'm following you on 44s and 40s."
Yep. Hey,
So,
I mean,
dude,
it's holding up for him. It seems like it is.
So far, I mean, I know he's broken it plenty, but
everything's gonna break eventually, especially if you're running 44s. But
yeah,
the clearance seems to be worth it in his case for sure.
Yeah, I mean the thing's light too. I mean, there's not a whole lot of body left on that. I mean, it's Comanche, but
True. And how much tube work is actually in it? I mean, we're totally off the rails now. Oh yeah, so
none.
exactly.
There's like I think he has some tubing up on the engine bay, but that's like it.
Yeah, so it doesn't
have a full cage or anything.
No,
so.
it does. So it's missing all that extra body weight that you have on any of our rigs.
And it's got a 4-cylinder in it, which cuts some weight.
It can definitely, and it's got the more horsepower over on top of that too.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I don't like about the buggy is having the 4-liter in there because that sucker's heavy. 4 liters are just anchors, but
yeah, you need weight somewhere.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's a little better having it in the front because once you get the front end over, you can just, it'll pull the rear ideally.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. And then that's the whole. When we talk with Action Fab, that's the whole mentality behind keeping it in his buggy, right? Or his Cherokee buggy thing.
Yeah,
was weight in the front, right? It does help having weight in some places, so
it definitely does. But yeah, I'll be interested to see how you guys wheel down a s'more, because that's like it'll probably be a bit different than you guys are used to.
I'm just gonna show up and send it.
That's all you need to do.
I watched Graham go first,
shafts.
and I see what worked for Graham, and I hit the same line with a little more gusto. It's great.
Yeah, he just uses me as a guinea pig.
Dude, I was leading last year I led we ended up splitting into like 2 groups during the day. But then at night when we do our night run, we just ran it as a whole crew. But I was leading the pack because I was like the smallest rig there on 37s.
That's not how it's supposed to work.
It works fine though because I'm not scared of the hard trails.
Fair, yeah. As long as
you can ask Curtis. I took us down one of their level 6, like their like level 6 hard trails, which they have like 1 to 6 ratings.
Yep.
I think I took us down one of those at like 10:30 at night. And like what's supposed to be like the gatekeeper to get up the trail is this like just big waterfall ledge, and we had to drop down it. And that was probably the biggest drop I've ever done. We like rolled up on it, and it was like, right at the end of the trail because it was the beginning of the trail technically. Yeah, we roll up to it, and I'm like looking at it out my door, and I was like, man, that's a pretty good drop. And I looked back, and I was like, shit, we can't like turn around or anything, so like I just gotta go for it. Freaking tightened up the harness, just dropped into it. I found a picture of the ledge on Facebook. I'll try and find it and send it. Of a like a Toyota Truggy going up it for a reference of the size of this ledge.
Yeah, the steep ledges can be tough during the day, but maybe it's a benefit that it was at night.
Dude, it's honestly nicer at night because you can't quite tell how bad everything is. I think it's a benefit, and it doesn't sound like it is, but it's like, dude, what you don't know can't hurt you until it does.
Yeah, like a rattlesnake. You just don't know it's there, and all of a sudden you're like, "Ooh, my leg hurts."
Yeah. But that was a cool trail though, because the top of the trail there was this burned up Comanche shell up there, and it was like a stock Comanche too. So somebody like just mobbed it up there at some point, and then it caught on fire.
And they just left it there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, where's this picture?
It's always the Comanches. I feel like it's not like
it's never anything lame.
No, it's always something cool.
Yeah, but it was a 4-banger.
Oh,
you could tell it was like it was an engine bay fire because the whole intake manifold was melted.
So it was still mostly there. People didn't take parts of it.
I think it was missing. I think it had the rear axle stripped off, and I don't think there was a bed on it either.
Oh,
so it was pretty.
It was getting thrashed.
Torn up. Yeah,
that's great.
Where's this picture? I guess I can't find that picture now.
So was some more that you placed that Curtis went up that obstacle backwards as well? Just to clarify.
No, that was at the Badlands, I think. If I'm thinking of what you're thinking of.
Yeah, where the guy couldn't make it, and Curtis was like, "Oh, it's not that hard," then went up backwards.
Yeah, that would have been at the Badlands. That's down at they call it the quarry there. There's like just this back wall. And it's like probably a 9 or 10 foot just wall climb. Bit of an angle to it. Some people struggle on it, and Curtis, I think that was at Winterfest like 2 years ago.
That's where he bent his link, I think he said.
Probably. There's a video of him going up it backwards. But which that to me is kind of ballsy because it's a pretty steep wall. But yeah, somebody was like, "Yeah, dude, I can't do that." And Curtis was like, "Oh, dude, that's easy." Backwards up it like one shot. But down at S'more though, they have an obstacle there called Copperhead, which is this pretty wild looking waterfall when you're there. I mean, it looks pretty wild in the pictures too, but the next campground over from us had some like wide open designs buggy or something like that. And Curtis, when we went down there, he one-shots this climb. Just straight up, barely even spins tire, just walked right up this. We get back to camp and we're talking to that dude, the next campground over, and the guy was like, "No, you didn't go up that in one shot." He's like, "I've never seen anybody do that before." And Curtis was like, "We literally have a video of it, dude." And he's like, "No, I don't believe that." And he's like, "I'll do it again." Like, you want to go see? You want to go see?
That's so funny.
I need to bully Curtis more. It's enjoyable.
It is.
It's been a while since we've
there was a lot of bullying at S'more.
Speaking of bullying, when's the other Luke gonna come on and get his bullying for running fucking garbage tires?
He has real boy tires, but he hasn't installed them yet.
Doesn't count. He needs to get bullied.
Yeah,
more.
I know. Probably after Winterfest, which was like the beginning of March,
Lame.
because
He was
he
supposed
didn't want to come on unless I was on here.
What a goof. What? Why not?
It's the truth. Didn't he tell you that? He told Winnie that. I know
Yeah,
that.
he did. I remember that. I remember
Yeah.
talking about that.
Which is fine. I'll come on again. And
Oh yeah.
We'll get him on here. We need him to talk about his Dana 50 adventures.
Are we scary? Do we bite?
I love Dana 50 Adventures.
Dude, yeah. You guys
There's
would have
nothing
a
wrong with
blast talking. No, he's been fine. I think he's scared that he doesn't have enough to talk about to fill up an entire podcast.
Oh, he's got plenty to talk about. Everybody says that.
Yeah, he does. He
He's
totally
got a
does.
Cherokee with a cage and 1 tons, and there's tons of shit. And it's like a really nice rig, honestly. Like it's.
Well, you'll see it in person.
Oh, will I change my tune? I don't know. I like it.
You might. It's a nice beat up rig.
Yeah, and
if you
I like it more
beat
now
rigs,
that it's beat up. Like the stuff he's been posting now with the front fenders and shit off of it.
Did he post about him chopping the front end yet?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'm not going to talk about that too much.
Maybe he has. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention.
I don't know.
But
I get Snapchats from him too, so I don't know.
I was wondering what the plan was because I know he has that front, like I don't even know what to call it. It's like a stinger, but it's also the back hoop. Like it was a structure for engine cage stuff. But I wasn't sure what his plan was to tie it all in. So
I'll let him go into the full detail when we get him on.
See,
here,
exactly. I'd love to talk to him. Have him come on.
I'll give you the
intimidating. We're all
the teaser though. The teaser, he has coilovers for the front, and he's cutting the front end up to fit them.
Cool.
Okay.
So I'll leave it at that, and then I'll give him something to talk about.
I'd love to catch him before he does it because I'd love to change his tune on it, but it probably won't happen.
He is already in progress on it.
Gotcha. So it's
you're too late.
Oh well, I mean, you can always stick fenders back on a pig. It's not that hard.
I think he was planning on. I don't know. I don't remember. He kept changing his mind on what he wanted. So, but probably sometime in March though to get him on, because then I'll be able to talk again about the buggy after a shakedown.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. Yeah, that
I'm sure. Yeah. Because I'm taking that. He's coming out to Winterfest in March. And that's where I'm going to do the shakedown on the buggy. So I think he's planning on having the coilovers in before then. So he'll get a shakedown on that. And then we'll really have something to talk about.
Nice.
But yeah, he kept pushing it off. I know he kept pushing it off because he's like, yeah, dude, they keep texting me and I don't know, dude. He's like, I want to do it, but like, I don't know what to talk about. I'm like, dude, you don't even have to. Dude, you can say like 2 things and then have everybody else talk for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, we'll literally suck up. If you don't want to talk, we'll suck up the conversation. I mean,
I was like, we'll go in any direction. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But if you've got like 4 other people that are talking at you or with you, plenty to talk about.
Yeah, I don't think he realizes how easy it actually is to.
Most don't.
It's definitely intimidating at first. I don't know. I haven't been in the position of being in the hot seat because we're always here. But
I mean,
well, I don't think I like talking, so I don't have a problem with it. But I mean, not everybody likes talking.
Yeah.
So
not everybody's good at talking either. Some people don't know how to tell a story to save their life.
Yeah, I'm very good about making a story way longer than it has to be.
Yeah, that's what podcasts are for. Like
I know.
It's a long, drawn out 2-hour fucking.
It's great. Like you could talk about everything that we've talked about in like half the time, but
that's like part of why we started this.
That's not the point. Yeah.
So we can just go on just total tangents for Jeep crap, right? You just get it all out of your system, right?
Yeah.
Once a week, 2 hours, you're done. Like I could still talk about them, but I'm not like itching to talk to somebody about Jeep shit, like because we do it every week. It works out.
Oh no, I mean I slipped my wrist before I even started talking about this podcast. You know, like I'm dreading everything. It's because I don't wheel. You know, I have nothing to talk about.
This is true.
Yeah, that's fair.
At least you're starting to own up to it now. It takes you a while.
Yeah,
He's
I mean,
accepting it.
it went from the pegging to this. So like, what's worse? Let's be honest.
Bring the pegging
Yeah,
back.
pick your poison. Yeah, if you start wheeling, we have to bring that back up from the dead.
God.
Or maybe Caitlin will just say something totally something else that's completely off the rails. That'll be the new
Yeah, that
new joke.
Now he's scared.
More likely.
He's scared again.
no, that's actually
It's like I shouldn't have said anything.
I was
taking a back step.
Caitlin bringing up some wild shit is very common, so I'm not surprised if that happens. Oh,
Dude,
shit.
it can't be any worse than I had a lady at this big campfire at a park tell us that her and her husband did anal that morning in their camper.
Oh,
While standing right next to her husband, who looked absolutely terrified that she was saying that. And she was also like blacked out on moonshine. So it can't be much worse than that.
No, that's rough. That's rough because then you're just like, ma'am, you were talking to me with like a gaped asshole right now, and now I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like I was fine with it before
you did that,
I knew.
And then went on the trails.
So,
and now we're at the end of the day, and
on that note, anyone got anything else to add?
No,
It's always good to end on gaped asshole.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
that's how I like to end my days, boys.
Keep that butthole tight.
Yeah.
God damn it! I actually had a good one for the fucking outro.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Wait, what was? Oh, are we done, or are you trying to outro again?
I was trying to outro.
Okay, let's go for it. I thought you finished it.
Keep that butthole tight, and if you're gonna be a penny shy, make sure you're not a quarter short.